Things didn't look good last night for the IPFW women's volleyball team in their match against Summit League leader South Dakota State. They lost 2 of their first 3 games in the best-of-5 match, but they showed grit, courage, and character, winning Game 4 30-16, and then the decisive 5th game 15-12 to knock off the conference leaders here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Tonight, another Summit League match against their intrastate rivals, the Jaguars of IUPUI. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Maas. Welcome to another edition of IPFW Women's Volleyball here on CATV. I'm joined by men's assistant volleyball coach Mark Franke. And Mark, you and I were both here last night. A lot of emotion, a lot of guts, and a lot of character shown by IPFW.
Particularly at the end when it really mattered. They cranked up the game to a higher level of exertion, a lot of confidence, and a very aggressive play, and it made all the difference.
A potent weapon last night for IPFW was to serve 16 aces, including 11 combined by Rebecca Ream and Peachy Jankowski.
That's the key part to the IPFW's game. That's where they excel. They need that part of their game when they play the conference leaders.
Tonight, an intrastate rival, IUPUI. On the men's side, the Dons have played Ball State. Similarities between the men and the women?
Well, hopefully IUPUI and IPFW will create a rivalry similar to Ball State on the men's side, and that should make this, being in the Summit League together, a really exciting experience for both schools.
Keys to the match for tonight for both schools?
Minimize mistakes, play through the errors, keep the emotional level up, and play in spite of the heat.
It's going to be a good one. IPFW and IUPUI. It's Summit League Women's Volleyball, and it's coming up next right here on CATV.
I've gone away to a college where the class size is small.
I've gone away to a college with a beautiful campus.
I've gone away to a college that cares about diversity.
I've gone away to a college where I get to live in my own apartment instead of living in a dorm room.
I've gone away to a college that really isn't that far away at all.
I go to IPFW.
IPFW.
I go to IPFW.
To find out more about college life at IPFW, go to our website. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW in Fort Wayne, Indiana. This is Mike Maas along with Mark Franke, and we're getting ready to bring you tonight's women's volleyball match featuring the Jaguars of IUPUI and the Mastodons of IPFW. Mark, intrastate rivals and now conference rivals, IUPUI and IPFW.
I think that really adds a lot to a contest like tonight. Not only are you in the same conference and competing for that, but the fact that this is a natural rivalry, which hopefully will develop over the years in all of our sports, it makes it a great night.
Let's give you the starting lineups for Game 1 of our best-of-5 match. And we'll start with the visitors from IUPUI, which is Indiana, Purdue, and Indianapolis. Davica Bellamy is an opposite. Davica is a 5'8" senior from Evansville, Indiana. The libero was Chelsea Baston. She is a 5'4" junior from Indianapolis. In the middle is Ashley Johnson. She is a 5'11" sophomore from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Hillary Houston is on the outside. She's a 5'8" sophomore from Trafalgar, Indiana. Danielle Goodnight is the setter. She is a 5'9" sophomore from Martinsville, Indiana. Jessica Phelps is on the outside. She's a 5'11" freshman from Bedford, Indiana. And also on the outside, Carol Newell. She's a 5'8" senior from Merrillville, Indiana. The head coach in his 11th year at IUPUI is Steve Payne, and he's assisted by Janielle McVeary and Erica Lewis. And there's a good look at Steve. Now the starters for IPFW. Peachy Jankowski is a libero. She's a 5'8" senior from Fraser, Michigan. Rebecca Ream in the middle. She is a 6' sophomore from Wilshire, Ohio. Taryn Parker gets the start in the middle. She's also a freshman, a 6' freshman from Alto, Michigan. On the outside, Sonara Martins, a 5'10" senior from Belo Horizonte, Brazil. The center is Jessica Dominiak. She is a 5'9" junior from Waterville, Ohio. Mariah Schlinvine is on the outside. Mayara is a 5'10" freshman from Nova Petropolis, Brazil. And in the middle will be Jessica Miller. Jessica is a 6'1" junior from right here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The head coach, Kelly Hartley-Hutton, in her 9th year. The associate head coach is Steve Florio. The graduate assistant coach is Fabiana Souza. And the trainer is Scott Kinnear. Our officials tonight, the up official is Elizabeth McHugh, and the down official will be Bill Thornburg. IUPUI wearing white jerseys, black numbers, black lettering, and black shorts. IPFW wearing blue jerseys, white trim, white numbers and letters, and blue shorts. In game 1, IPFW will be serving, and they'll be serving from left to right on your television screen. And we are about ready to go. IPFW 10-8 overall, 4-3 in the Summit League, and IUPUI 9-11 overall. And we are underway. First swing of the match by Carol Newell results in a kill, and IUPUI gets a quick 1-0 lead. We played 30 points in games 1, 2, 3, and 4. You need to win by 2. If it goes to a game 5 like it did last night against South Dakota State, you played a 15. Serving it will be Rachel Holmes, a 5'8 sophomore from New Lenox, Illinois. Rebecca Ream takes a big swing, and that is dug out. Jessica Dominiak setting up Jessica Miller. Oh, nice dig there by Baston Libero. Schlinvine. Good dig so far by IUPUI.
Have a net call on IUPUI, or on IPFW.
And the Jaguars get their second point. It's now 2-0. Again, Rachel Holmes in to serve. Conventional serve from the baseline. Jessica Miller. She had 17 kills last night, Mark, picking up where she left off.
Jessica Miller has been moved to the next two, or the number 1 middle position. She's normally the opposite. Rebecca Ream is opposite the setter tonight.
Bellamy with a little push shot, and that's dug out. The right side for Schlinvine, and off the touch. The Mastodons pick up a point.
What that lineup change does is it allows Jessica Miller to hit some quick attacks out of the middle, which is also her old position. She's a very versatile player. Helps the offense.
We're tied 2-2, just underway here at the Gates Center. Miller with a dig. Set up for Schlinvine, and again, off the touch. The freshman bangs it off the left wrist of Holmes, and IPFW takes their first lead of the night, 3-2. Big swing of that time by Jessica Phelps. 3-3 our score. And getting ready to serve for IUPUI is their libero, Chelsea Baston. Dominiak for Ream, and that's dug out nicely by Holmes. And IUPUI comes up with another point. Hillary Houston taking a big cut at it. 4-3, Jaguars on top. Baston bangs it over the net. Dominiak throws it up for Sonara Martins. Holmes with a dig. Don's going to hit it over defensively. A free ball opportunity for IUPUI, and there's Dabica Bellamy. Mark Bellamy last night had a triple-double, 17 kills, 25 assists, and 10 digs.
That was a nice, fairly fast tempo set there to the backside.
5-3 IUPUI lead. Dominiak for Ream. And Rebecca Ream, who had 19 kills against South Dakota State last night, picks up her first kill of the night here.
IPFW runs that backslide a lot, and both Miller and Ream are really good at it, but I think sometimes they use it a little too much. We'll watch, see if that happens tonight.
Mayara Schlinvine gets the benefit of the doubt. The ball just creased over the top of the net and fell forward. We're tied 5-5 in game 1 of our best-of-5 series. Best-of-5 match, I should say. Right side pass for Bellamy, and Schlinvine will dig it out. Mayara swings it too hard, too long, too strong. And the Jaguars retake the lead, 6-5. Davica Bellamy, one of 2 seniors on this IUPUI squad out of Evansville, Indiana.
That went outside the antenna.
Yeah, not the best set by Jessica Dominiak.
That was going to be a tough one to play. Martins did the only thing she could do and try to put some English on the ball and wrap it around the antenna, which she wasn't able to do.
Bellamy with a little running serve. Let's see what kind of a set Dominiak has for Rebecca Ream.
The IPFW offense is really non-traditional. Players are out of normal positions. They're trying to put people where they can run multitude of sets. Ream and Miller are quite versatile that way, as I said earlier. Schlindwine is hitting a lot of backside stuff, which is unusual for an outside hitter, but it works well in this offense.
A long hit by IUPUI, and we're tied at 7. Rebecca Ream had 6 service aces last night. Pretty good serve there. Unreturnable. And Mark, you and I were commenting before the start of the match. We noted that IPFW had 16 aces, and they were going to have to serve at least as well again tonight.
IPFW's success the last handful of years has been mostly on the defensive side of the net. That's serving, digging, blocking. And the serving is still very strong. Blocking, of course, we're missing Claire Jackson, who anchored that, and prior to her is Lindsley Brammer. So we have to develop a new blocking strength combination that's being worked on.
Serving it up is Hillary Houston for IUPUI. Dominiak from Martins. Change of pace shot. Jaguars keep it going. Let's see what Dominiak does this time. Taryn Parker with the running shot. And again, IUPUI double hit called.
So that's the third player that's run that back slide.
9-8 Mastodons on top, and here is the senior from Belo Horizonte, Brazil. Sonara Martins to serve. Bellamy setting up Johnson, and Jankowski digs it out. Miller from the left side. Strong hit by Jessica Miller, and it's a 10-8 Mastodon lead. Martins continues, little pop-up type of serve. Little miss hit by Carol Newell, hits it into the net on her side.
Miller is blocking left side here, which is not a normal place for her. We'll talk more about that when we come back.
Timeout on the floor, 11-8 IPFW. You're watching IPFW Women's Volleyball on CATV.
What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Back at the Hilliard Gage Sports Center. Game 1 of our best-of-5 match. 11-8 is our score. IPFW on top of IUPUI. The Jaguars just called the first of their 2 allotted timeouts in Game 1. IPFW in blue. Last meeting with these 2 teams November 3rd of 2006, and IPFW prevailed, winning it in 4, although the last 2 games were close, 30-28, 30-28. Back of the action here, and Newell off the touch. Stops the IPFW run of 3. 11-9 now the score. Ashley Johnson to serve. Not the same Ashley Johnson who played basketball for 4 years for IPFW. That swing by Taryn Parker is long, and IUPUI picks up another point.
That was that same set.
Dominiak throws it back for Martins. Dug out by Johnson. Bellamy setting up Newell. Peachy Jankowski in the right place.
I noticed that last night, Mike. Rebecca Reams hitting out of that back right side position, the D position, the blue position as the men's team calls it. And it's good to see that into the offense. IPFW needs some back row attacks to make the offense more varied.
Peachy Jankowski, the senior libero from the north side of Detroit, will serve. Floats it over. Davica Bellamy for Newell. Miller blocked it. Oh, Jessica Dominiak decided to turn attacker instead of setter, but hit the ball into the net.
That worked well for her several times last night, especially late. She did it at the right time. It's key for a setter to do it when it's not expected.
12-11, IPFW with the lead, and nice swing that time by, I take it back. It's a little bit long by Miller.
It's a good swing, though.
It was a good swing, but we're tied at 12. Dominiak is blocked by Newell.
That's different there. Dominiak, being left-handed, can swing at the ball and attack it aggressively. Tipping the ball, especially on a tight set, the blocker's waiting on you.
Kelly Hartley-Hutton calls her first timeout. What do you think she's saying to the team right now, Mark? Because now the team's trailing 13-12.
She's probably trying to tell them to run the offense, take advantage of the fact that we are handling the ball fairly well right now, and just play it out. It's early. Each team's feeling each other out. There's no reason for either side to be worried yet.
Well, both of these teams did play last night. For tickets to IPFW athletic events, call 260-481-6000, or you can go to the IPFW Athletics website. It's gomastodons.com. Mastodon ticket packages are available for individual events or mini-season packages. Again, the phone number, 260-481-6000, or go online at gomastodons.com. Started to mention both teams played last night. Of course, here at the Gates Center, IPFW with a thrilling come from behind 3-2 win, 15-12 in the fifth set over South Dakota State. And IUPUI lost on the road at Oakland University in 4. Back to the action here, Miller.
There it is again. The blockers are ready for it now.
Here's Martins just over the 3-meter line, and that's dug out. Good dig by Jankowski. Nice block that time, Schlinvine and Miller. Newell hits it into the net, and IPFW ties it up at 13.
Miller's now moved to the middle blocking position because Parker's moved to the back row. So the blocking alignments are going to change as well as the hitting alignments because of this unusual lineup.
Left-handed serve by Jessica Dominiak. Bellamy off the fist of Jankowski. IUPUI leading 14-13. And looks like Rachel Holmes has come back in to serve for the Jaguars. And we're ready to go. Conventional baseline serve. Miller. Got the break.
Yeah.
Got the break.
When you catch the tape, you're either going to get a really big break or a really bad break.
And if you're an IPFW fan, it's a good break. We're tied 14 apiece. And the junior from Concordia Lutheran High School here in Fort Wayne, Jessica Miller, will serve. Setting it up on the left side for Houston, and that's dug out. Martins, good swing.
That worked well, although it started with a mistake. Jessica Dominiak handled the first ball. Setters never handle the first ball unless it's hit hard at them. If it's in the middle of the court, they let somebody else take it. But it worked well.
15-14 Mastodon lead. Here's Debica Bellamy, and a nice dig that time by Miller, but a double hit called on Dominiak.
It's possible the ball could be just a little bit moist. It's hot in here, and I don't know what the humidity level is, but on a hot gym, balls do get wet. They have to make sure they keep them dry.
Chelsea Baston, the libero, will serve it up for the Jaguars. Floats it over. Dominiak going left side to Martins, and that's blocked. Jamie Schwartz on the floor to dig it out. Battle at the net. Oh, Bellamy found an open spot in the back corner. And IUPUI takes a 16-15 lead.
I think Jankowski might have been out of position, rolling up to play a tip. The tip went deep.
Baston with another float serve. Schlinvine. Oh, good dig that time by Goodnight. Left side to Martins. And just inside the line, Sonara Martins comes through with her second kill of the night.
Mike, I've been trying to watch our offense and blocking setups because of this lineup, but I kind of half noticed there have been a lot of good defensive plays on the IUPUI side of the net tonight.
Schlinvine serving for IPFW. Oh.
Caught the corner, I think.
I think, yeah, yes. Elizabeth McHugh, our up official, says that swing was good by Hillary Houston. 17-16 the score. The visitors from Indianapolis with the lead and the serve. Davica Bellamy, the senior. Good serve. And it's a 2-point IUPUI lead. Little running serve. Dominiak right side for Miller. Oh, nice dig that time by Goodnight. Defensive return for IPFW. Hustling to try to get it is Jankowski.
Nice hustle.
And they get it over the net to IPFW. Bellamy for Johnson.
Great set, great call. Bellamy knew that our defense was running around the court and she needed to get a quick attack, and that's exactly what she said.
And Kelly Hutton calls her second timeout. It's a 19-16 IUPUI lead. Oh, there's a strange character, Mark.
I think we have two different Don mascots, don't we? One's brown and one's gray.
Male and female, I think.
Is that what it is? Oh, there's a ribbon in here. That's probably the female, I think.
I think we're going to see a replay here momentarily. Saw a swing by...
There's Jankowski chasing that ball down.
And then I think it was Martin's got it back over.
There we go. But we just didn't get set up in time. Watch the quick attack. Perfect.
Boy, did Johnson get high up in the air for IUPUI.
That was good hustle on the IPFW side. Excellent play calling on the IUPUI side.
Right now, IUPUI hitting 267, IPFW just 125. Now, both of these teams now members of the Summit League. A little bit later on, we'll bring you the conference standings. And after last night's play, where all 4 home teams won, well, the standings are jumbled up just a bit.
Kind of like Major League Baseball and all the home teams winning.
Yeah. And now I think we're ready to go. Elizabeth McHugh blows her whistle. And Davica Bellamy will continue to serve. Goes hit Sonara Martins. Ream is blocked by Johnson, but the block is wide left. Well, that stops the Jaguar run. Now let's see what Rebecca Ream can do.
They've gone to the 6-2 offense here on the IUPUI side.
Now Ream commits a service error. 20-17 our score. IUPUI on top, and here is Hillary Houston, the 5'8" sophomore. And she goes long. Well, back-to-back service errors.
When I said IUPUI went to the 6-2 offense, basically they're using 2 setters. The opposite, Bellamy is setting when she's back row.
Yeah. That time she set up Carol Newell, but IPFW digs that one out. A little bit of English on that shot by Rebecca Ream. Ball dipped down.
Yeah, sometimes those roll shots aren't as soft as they look, and they have a lot of topspin on them.
Sonara Martins will serve for a tie. Bellamy going left for Newell. Oh, wow, nice shot. I noticed that time, Mark, that Sonara Martins was the only Mastodon in the back half as that play turned out. Let's see what Dominiak can do for Taryn Parker.
I was watching the IUPUI offense, so I wasn't watching our defense, but I know our defense tends to play up probably closer than a lot of teams do. Although there should be a middle back covering the whole back row, deep.
Peachy Jankowski will serve. IPFW down by 1. Bellamy again going to Newell on that left side, and that time IUPUI gets the friendly tip of the net. Well, they like to go on that left side to Carol Newell a lot. Of course, she's a senior. Dominiak for Miller, long.
Calling for a touch, she's not going to get it.
Score now is 23-20 in favor of IUPUI.
IUPUI always has 2 blockers in front of that backslide on the right side.
Yep.
I think we need probably a sub out of IPFW here to slow it down a little bit.
A 4-point Jaguar lead. Danielle Goodnight will serve. Schlinvine, yes. Well, she and Martins, of course, they're both from Brazil, and they both take that sharp angle.
Yeah, they do. I don't know if it's something they learned down there.
Dominiak with that left-handed serve. Newell off the touch.
The other thing about the angle, if the set kind of comes inside and is off the net, that can open up if you know how to go for it. But you have to be a shot maker to get it.
Rachel Holmes in to serve. It's 25-21 IUPUI. Dominiak for Miller. Good point for IPFW, but they need a few more of them. And here's Jessica Miller with a serve. Houston dug out by Miller. Schlinvine.
Should be a touch. Yeah. I'm not charting. I wish I were, because I think IUPUI is heavily favoring their left side. IPFW is heavily favoring their right side on offense.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's back row setter. Back row setter. See, that's the problem with the 6'2". The setter's always back row, and she can't be real aggressive when the pass is tight. That's the trade-off.
Well, Steve Payne utilizes his second and final timeout of game one. It's 25-24. IUPUI with the lead, and let's see if we can bring you the Summit League standings heading into play tonight. Like I mentioned last night, there were 4 matches, and all 4 home teams won. And those home teams last night: Oakland, UMKC, Western Illinois, and IPFW. South Dakota State on top, 6-1. Oral Roberts lost their first match last night in the conference. They're 4-1. North Dakota State 4-2. Then you see IPFW 4-3, followed by Western Illinois, Oakland, IUPUI, UMKC, and Centenary. And of course, IPFW was tabbed as the preseason pick. Oral Roberts was picked to finish second, North Dakota State third, and South Dakota State fourth. But it was a big night last night for the home teams as we look at another replay. And good swing by Jessica Miller.
Split the block. The middle blocker was late getting out there. There's a good direction on that attack.
Well, back to the live action. Good night setting up Houston, and it's blocked by Schlinvine, but blocked wide right. And again, is that more of the position of the arms,
It's
Mark?
blocking technique. Yeah, you need to get out, go over, then push your arms in. And if you go up straight vertically, either you don't get your arms over, you keep them 90 degrees from the ground, you're probably going to block it out of bounds because of the angle of the attack.
Dana Gardner's in for IUPUI, a 6-foot freshman from Shelbyville. Dominiak going left side. Martins, and that's blocked. Jamie Schwartz there for IPFW. Ream.
Oh, nice
wow.
play.
Baston with a great dig from on her. Sitting on the floor, shall we say. Off the touch. IPFW wins the point. Got to go back
but
to
Baston wins the, I don't know what they awarded at IUPUI, but you know, like the football players
good
wear the things in
hustle
their
award,
helmets.
maybe?
Yeah, good hustle award. So, nice play.
It really was. It was a good look at Mayara Schlinvine, 5'10" freshman from Brazil. Once again, IPFW serving for a game tie and a miss hit into the net.
Bad time for that.
Makes our score 27-25 IUPUI. And again, Gardner coming in for Houston. And Davica Bellamy going to serve for the Jaguars.
This is probably a blocking sub, I'm guessing. She's going to go block left.
Bellamy hits it deep, but it's dug out by Schwartz.
Set it in front of her.
And Ream off the touch, and she went right at Gardner.
Steve Payne set that up. He put a blocker in because he knew where the attack was going. She went out there, but she did the same thing that happened on the IPFW side a minute ago. Blocked up, straight up vertically, so it came off of her.
Here's Rebecca Ream with a jump serve. Took something off it. And she'll come away with an ace. And that handcuffed Hillary Houston. We're tied at 27.
At the end of the game, the serves are very, very important. You want them to be tough, and you don't want errors.
Let's see. Bellamy setting up Houston. Parker got a little bit of a friendly roll. We go back to Dominiak for Ream. And that's dug out. Bellamy, left side. Good positioning by Schwartz. Oh, nice dig that time by Holmes. Jankowski with a dig. This is one of the longest rallies of the match thus far. Peachy with another dig. We go the opposite side for Ream. Bellamy with it. Houston. Schwartz keeps it alive. Ream. What a rally. Oh, miss hit by Ream. But without a doubt, longest rally of game one.
Good defensive play on both teams during that rally. But I thought IUPUI's offense was more aggressive than IPFW's. I think that's what made the difference there.
A big point here. Houston serving for the Jaguars. Martins. Yes. Martins hit it up, and Carol Newell could not keep it clean. 28-28. Sonara Martins to serve for IPFW. This gets it over. Bellamy for Newell. Dominiak with a...
Oh, Elizabeth McHugh, the up official, overruled the line call. Said it was out. The line judge, Peter Oliveira, called it the block in, I think. She overruled it. She's firm on it.
And it becomes a game point for IUPUI. Miller, Newell digs it out. Free ball, oh, miss hit by Jessica Phelps. And in essence, we're going overtime, 29-29. You have to win by 2. And here's Peachy Jankowski to serve. Baston digs it out. Bellamy for Newell. Keeping it alive is Miller.
Oh no, somebody has to attack that ball.
Let's see what IUPUI does again. Newell, Dominiak with a block.
That was a big play because we really messed up that transition offense. Dominiak got that one-on-one block.
And now it's Jankowski serving for game one for IPFW. Bellamy going back to Newell. Jags just get it over. Miller, yes, off the touch, and IPFW survives. And they win game one, 31-29. Teams will change ends. We'll take a break, get ready for game two. 31-29 Mastodons game one. You're watching IPFW Women's Volleyball on CATV.
But with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, your graduate university.
Pizza! I must eat. Wait, what is this? Capsicum annum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man. Honey.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Hi, I'm Russell Simmons. Today I want to talk to you about a very important subject, cruelty to animals. Emmy was a victim of cruelty and someone did something about it. Someone called the ASPCA and put an end to it, because Emmy can't talk. The fact is, animals are abused all over this country and people sit by and do nothing. It's not slick or fly or cool or none of that. It's just cruel. If you're aware of any animal abuse, go to aspca.org. Find out what you can do now and make a difference. She can't do it for herself.
Welcome back, everybody, to a CATV Sports exclusive. It's IPFW Women's Volleyball. Mike Maas, Mark Franke, and a replay mark, and I wonder if this is game point.
There it is. After setting the backside time and time again, she came to the front side with Jessica Miller on that quick attack. And on transition, if you can get that quick attack, you want to get it.
Well, Both teams in game one were hitting a little over 200. IPFW hit 235. IUPUI hit 255. Anything stand out?
No, the statistics are exactly even though IUPUI had a higher hitting percentage. We had, on the IPFW side, 3 more errors, but 3 more kills. Evens out. Blocks, 1 and 1, even. Service aces to errors, +1 both teams, even.
Individually, Rebecca Ream and Jessica Miller, 5 kills apiece. Nara Martins and Mayara Schlinvine, 4 kills apiece for the Dons. And Carol Newell had 6 kills. Hillary Johnson, 4. And Davica Bellamy, 3. So you see some of the team numbers, 19-16 kills, 19-16 assists, both favoring IPFW. Blocks even at 1. Diggs, 24-22 for the Dons. Again, a close game, as 31-29 would indicate.
27 of the 47 IUPUI sets went to their left side. That's a little harder to tell looking at the IPFW individual stats because you have players hitting in front, in the middle, and behind on the right side at the antenna. But our two of our top 3 attackers were backside hitters for the most part.
Danielle Goodnight serving for IUPUI and
got a net call. That was lucky for IPFW.
1-0 game 2, and here's Jessica Dominiak to serve. From Wilshire, Ohio. Just floats it over. Dominiak gonna go in the middle for Martins. Goodnight digs it out. Houston and Jankowski in the right spot. Schlinvine with a big swing and just inside the baseline. 2-0 IPFW.
Mike, unless I misrecorded their lineup in the first game, IUPUI has flipped their left side hitters.
Newell with a big swing and off the touch gets a point for IUPUI.
Hillary Houston is now next to the setter. She was 2 away. She was 2 away before.
Some perspiration being cleaned up on the IPFW side of the floor.
Probably doesn't matter a lot based on the fact they run a 6-2 offense, but it does matter as to which setter hitter are combining maybe more effectively. So I'll try to watch that a little bit this game if I can.
Hillary Houston serving for IUPUI. Wow, easy pickings for Newell there.
Dominiak could not contest that because she's coming out of the back row. She cannot contest that ball on the top of the net.
We're tied at 2. This is game 2 and a service error. In game 1, IUPUI had just 1 service error, so they've matched that. And here is Jessica Miller serving for IPFW. Good night for Bellamy.
Nope, out.
Long, says Elizabeth McHugh. It's a 4-2 Mastodon lead. Miller is wide left. I know I asked this on an earlier telecast, Mark, but is it more of a trying to serve the ball in play, serve it at a particular player, or serve it at a particular spot?
You're trying to serve a target, and usually it's someone passing in a spot, in an area. And so you're working on a particular passer either because they're struggling with passing or because by making them handle the first ball, it takes them out of the offense if they're a front row passer.
Mayara Schlinvine came down with the kill. Now she's replaced on the floor by Christine Simon, Jr. from Bowling Green, Ohio, who will come in and serve. Serves it to Newell. Bellamy on the right side. Dominiak battle at the net, won by Ashley Johnson.
Ashley Johnson's an aggressive player. She really goes after that ball when it's in contention at the top of the net.
And she can really jump.
Yes, she can. How tall is she?
Tell you in a quick second. Meanwhile, little setup. Johnson and Kylie Hervey tried to get in there, but off the touch. IUPUI comes away with the point.
She's 5'11". She doesn't look that tall, but she jumps every bit of it.
She really does. We're tied at 5 here in game 2. IPFW won game 1, 31-29. Dominiak for Ream. Oh, blocked by Johnson. Boy, does she exude confidence.
Well, it's the second tempo set, or we might call it 2 set. rather than a quick one.
Little running jump serve by Bellamy. Here's Rebecca Ream. Bellamy digs it out. We go back to Ream. Houston throws it up. Newell left side where she's been dangerous. Goodnight keeps it alive. Well, Bellamy, nice play by Jankowski. Jags reset. Johnson tip shot. Patience pays off for IUPUI that time.
Johnson showed a lot of body control when she was up in the air there, that she could actually attack the ball at the right time, at the right speed, and push it to the right direction.
Let's see which way Dominiak goes. It's to Martins and off the touch. Off of the arm of Johnson, IPFW snaps a run. 4-point run by IUPUI. 7-6 our score. Here's Rebecca Ream. Bellamy going to Houston, and that's dug out by Schwartz. Bellamy with another dig. Little tip shot. Hervey finds the open spot in the back corner. Nice short set that time, too.
It wasn't exactly a broken play, but it didn't develop the way it was supposed to. Hervey did a nice job just throwing the ball to the open back corner.
We're tied at 7. Bellamy going right for Johnson, and it's long.
Steve Payne's telling her to follow through on her swings, to put a little topspin on the ball.
Bellamy flips it up for Johnson again, and Martins wins the battle at the net.
That was a setter mistake there. Johnson couldn't do anything with it. Martins just very alertly just tipped it down onto the open spot on the floor. Had an overlap on IUPUI.
Okay, can you explain that?
Probably a setter either. He's pointing to Goodnight. Now she either started in the wrong place. They're checking it. Replay. She was in position. See, when there's a 6-2, sometimes it can confuse the down official because it was on Goodnight, who typically is setting, but right now she's hitting on the left side.
Well, that time Ream just hits it hard, and IUPUI can't return it. And now it's 10-7. And timeout called. We'll take one as well. The Dons up by 3. This is IPFW Women's Volleyball on CATV.
You need paper, pencils. We only ask that you do your best. And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Mark, you may have a chance to explain the overlap on this play here. Or maybe not.
The overlap, the left front and right and middle front hitters were lined up almost back to back. One up at the net, one much deeper as a passer. I think Bill Thornburg thought that they had the Goodnight 12, who should have been out farther to the left, was in fact inside.
Rebecca Ream continues to serve. Newell, and Ream keeps it alive.
I don't know how Goodnight did that.
Double hit called on Jessica Dominiak, and that's happened a few times tonight.
That was a nice save by Goodnight. She kept her body out of the net and did not mishandle the ball. Just all she had to do at that point is keep the ball in play and not err.
Rachel Holmes back in to serve for the Jaguars. They're down 2, 10-8 here in game 2. They're down 1-0 in this best-of-5 match. Dominiak going to Martins. And that swing is good.
What happened there was Bellamy, who was right back, was releasing to set the ball on transition. It came into her zone. She thought the blockers had it sealed, and they let it get through to her zone.
Sonara Martin serving. Bellamy for Johnson, and Hervey blocks it. Or does she?
No, came down on that blue side of the net because they didn't extend over. They blocked straight up. The blockers contacted the ball on their own side of the net rather than on the offense side of the net.
And now it's a 2-point game. Johnson with a dig. Good night. Dons keep it alive. Dominiak, well, she hits it into the net, but she's supposed to be a setter by trade.
Yeah, but she does have a fairly good attack left-handed. A lot of teams would not set their setter in that situation, but because Jessica Dominiak is so offensive as a setter, it's an option. But it was well known over here. Coach Steve Payne was yelling left side, his left side, IPFW's right side. He knew where that was going, even though the setter was the hitter out there.
Service error by Ashley Johnson, so IPFW up by 2. And here is Houston. Oh, wow.
Both teams have had trouble with the softer, you might call roll shots that aren't hit with full power going to middle back. The middle back is staying deep. The ball has top spin, which means it's going to drop quickly, and they wait too long. They don't move their feet. They try to reach for it. And the only thing they can do at that point is fall onto the floor and try to pop it up, and they're not getting there. Both teams are having a problem with that.
Well, both teams have 6 kills so far in game 2. Daniel Goodnight serving. Well, looks like it's going to be a free ball chance coming up for IUPUI. Goodnight from Bellamy. Miller with the running shot.
That play that I was complaining about in the first game worked here because they haven't run it in a while.
13-11 our score. IPFW with the lead in the serve. Here's Jessica Dominiak. Goes deep. Houston will dig it. And the Jags just get it over. Miller left side and off the touch. IPFW gets the point. Now 14-11.
Oh, back row setter. That has to. Oh,
they're going to say that Ream went over the net.
Went over the net. That ball never broke the plane is what that call is. As soon as the ball breaks the plane, the vertical plane above the top of the net, it's a free ball for either side. However, in this case, IUPUI setter was coming out of the back row, which meant she could not contact the ball there, especially after Ream went after it.
Well, it's now 14-12, and Hillary Houston to serve. Shannon Reuter on the floor for IPFW, and the Dons get a break off the touch and get the point. So Reuter, a 5'7" sophomore from Tiffin, Ohio, in for Jessica Dominiak. Jessica Miller serving. Short set by Goodnight, and Jessica Phelps puts it away. And we'll see a serve from Chelsea Baston.
IPFW has a new setter, so we'll see how that changes things.
Reuter going to Schlinvine. Houston digs. Ream throws it up. Newell. Ream. Bellamy keeps it going. Ream. Oh, Johnson out duels Ream at the net.
I really like Jamie Schwartz's play in that sequence, but also most of the night. I think she's doing a nice job handling the ball, controlling it, getting it to target.
Let's see what happens on this play. Schlinvine. Baston digs it out. Newell. Jankowski there. And IPFW wins the point.
I'm not sure if that's the way IUPUI scripts that, where the wing goes behind the middle back. That's what they did there. The libero stayed shallow, and the wing went behind her.
Christine Simon in to serve. Back to Newell. Reuter with a dig. Let's see what they do this time. Bellamy right side. It's interesting, Mark. I looked at that play developed, and Goodnight had Bellamy on her right and Newell on her left, and IPFW didn't know where she was going to go.
Well, the tendency has been left side, but I think Bellamy's getting more sets. Let's see if we can sort that out from the stats.
Service error by Davica Bellamy.
Yeah, Bellamy has 15 attempts, and she sets half the time.
17-15 our score. IPFW on top.
Oh.
Jankowski there to dig it out. Martins just wide. And Holmes comes back in to serve for IUPUI. Neither team putting on a string of points at this point. Reuter from Martins. Martins out to a good night at the net.
Sometimes that's a called play there where the left side hitter comes in about 5 feet or so. I'm not sure if that was called or the set just dropped short.
Well, here is Sonara Martins. Bellamy for Johnson. That looked almost too easy.
Yeah, that might have been an easier play for Martins coming across from middle back than for Jankowski to come in from the wing. All she could do is get an arm up.
More perspiration being cleaned up off the floor. As you said, Mark, it's been a hot stretch of days here in the Summit City. Temperature in the mid to upper 80s with humidity to match.
I think both liberos are playing pretty well. They seem to be in position. I noticed in that last long rally, the liberos stayed in position, played the ball without moving their feet because they were lined up right to begin with.
Holmes with a dig. That time
that
and a double
called,
hit.
Yeah.
19-17 our score. IPFW at the lead. You get a look at the Brain Trust. Kelly Hartley-Hutton and Steve Florio. Peachy Jankowski will serve. Goes diagonally. Bellamy. Fills it up. Reuter, right side for Miller. Missed time, but IPFW gets the break.
Bellamy, when she free-balled that, she's back row, so she had to stay below the net. She didn't jump. She made sure she contacted the ball when it was not above the plane of the tape. So it was a legal attack by her.
Well, IUPUI wanted to make a sub, but they couldn't do it.
Didn't
and
get
now
a call
confusion. I'm curious, Mark, why they couldn't make the sub.
He didn't get the officials' attention in time.
Coming in now is Lauren Thompson, a 5'8" freshman from Crawfordsville, Indiana. Jankowski to serve. IPFW up by 4. Good night to Holmes, and battle at the net. I'm going to call Reuter for lifting. An opportunity lost by IPFW there.
Yeah, I don't think it was all that obvious a lift, but IUPUI clearly won the battle at the net.
Reuter going back at Jessica Miller. Line judge changed his mind.
No, what we're calling is a net.
Okay. I'm looking at the line judge, and he starts pointing down, and then he changes his mind and goes up.
Yeah.
22-18, the lead 4. Bellamy on the left side, and Martins digs it. Miller, Bassett in the right place. Nice tag team block that time. Thompson hits the top of the net. Ball goes backwards. Tough break for IUPUI.
Thompson's in for Houston, isn't she?
Yes. Shannon Reuter serving. Bellamy on the left side with a big swing, but Jankowski, you talk about liberos being in the right place.
Yeah, IPFW is playing the libero left back because of the strong left side offense of IUPUI.
Ream. Baston keeps it alive. Another long rally. Schlinvine off the touch. Good night saying wide, and I put my hand up.
Well, you know, the back row player is thinking that there might have been a touch at the net, and by the time you decide there wasn't, you're already committed.
IUPUI calls a timeout, trailing by 6, 24-18. And that is their second and final allotted timeout. Gives us a chance to tell you to learn more about Mastodon sports by tuning into Mastodon Spotlight. It's on Wednesdays at 7:30, Fridays at 6:30. We review recent IPFW sports activities. We look at game footage when possible and visit with players and coaches. Again, Mastodon Spotlight now in its 9th year. Wednesdays at 7:30, Fridays at 6:30, right here on CATV.
Looking at the digs, I was talking about the liberos a minute ago, Mike. Obviously, on the IPFW side, Jankowski leads with 14 of the 45 team digs, no one else in double figures. I was surprised to see that Baston, the IUPUI libero, only has 8. Goodnight leads with digs. And that's kind of unusual because she's setting. And so I think that's because a lot of the right side offense goes to that right side, back right side, or our left side hitters are going down the line or coming off the blocks down the line. I'm going to watch that a little more closely.
Shannon Reuter back on the floor to serve. The Dons up by 6. Here's Davica Bellamy, blocked by Schlinvine. Well, the freshman makes a contribution for IPFW. And it's a 7-point lead. Houston back on the floor for Thompson. And Reuter continues to serve. Goodnight setting up Houston, and Jankowski digs. Miller, and another dig by the libero. And Bellamy with a change of pace shot.
That shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen.
You mentioned about the play of the two liberos. Chelsea Baston for IUPUI and Peachy Jankowski for IPFW. It's kind of wild when you start paying a little more attention to their positioning on the floor. Schlinvine and Baston with a dig. Ball high in the air. And Martins tried to go deep in the corner and she went too long.
Goodnight did not waste any time getting Houston back into the offense, did she?
Nope, not at all. Houston will continue to serve. 25-20 our score. Uh-oh. Ball went dead right near the scorer's table.
Usually that's a sign that the passer did not move her feet to position her body appropriately to pass the ball to target. And so she's reaching outside her body, the framework of her body, to pass the ball.
IUPUI has scored 3 points in a row, but the long serve stops that run. Service error makes it 26-21. Jessica Miller serve. Newell, yes.
Yeah, she caught the line. Newell's very aggressive out here. That set dropped in a little bit. Of course, it was a release type of set, but she just went up and attacked that ball. IPFW needs to be more aggressive that way, I think. That's a personal opinion, but I think it might be shared by the coaching staff. I don't know.
You think that they might be talking about that in the 10-minute break between games 2 and 3? That'll be coming up shortly. More perspiration cleaned up. Patiently waiting, you saw there for a moment ago, is Chelsea Baston. You see Newell on the left, 14. Johnson, number 4 for IUPUI. And now we're ready to go. Reuter, left side for Ream. Bellamy digs that one out. Lions go back to the left side for Martins and off the touch. Martins off the hand of Ashley Johnson.
Personally, I don't think either team's did a very good job of blocking in terms of their technique. That's why there aren't a lot of blocks in this match.
Christine Simon now in to serve. Newell again. Simon let
She's
it go.
calling for a touch. You're going to get it. Yeah, I think there probably was a touch. The back row of IPFW did not, because they let it go. They got away from it, but it looked to me like the ball changed direction at the top of the net. That's usually how you tell if there's a touch. The ball changes direction.
And there's Davica Bellamy. Reuter going to Ream.
Oh.
How did that ball get over? I thought Johnson had a kill.
Johnson had a block. I think it caught Ream on the head and went over. When that happens, you just salute the other team. Okay, let's play.
28-23, Rebecca Ream serving. Here is Johnson. Yes. Miss Bubbly for IUPUI. Makes it a 4-point game. Jaguars not giving up.
She plays with a lot of emotion. I don't know the team well enough to know if she's the emotional leader out there that way, but tonight it looks like she's carrying that load.
Home serving. Martins, change of pace shot. Bellamy tried to keep it alive, but was unsuccessful, and now it's an IPFW game point. Sonora Martins will serve. And a service error. Not what you want on game point.
No, especially from a senior. You don't even want a freshman doing that, but you don't want the senior to do it.
So here's
That's
Ashley
just a mental
Johnson.
error.
Jessica Miller hammers it home and takes care of that. Miller with their 11th kill, and IPFW will head to the locker room up 2-0, winning game 2 by a score of 30-25. Let's take a break. We'll come back, and who knows what may happen next. 10-minute intermission coming up. You're watching IPFW Women's Volleyball on CATV.
I work hard, I go to class, and I want a degree that's going to mean something. I had offers from other universities, but I wanted the best out of my college choice. I wanted a great education and the campus life to go with it. Student housing, Division I sports, I found it all right here at IPFW. Hey, this is my university, my life, so it's got to feel right. I'm really glad I chose IPFW. I love it here. Go to their website.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, one university, two great names.
This is the training manual for a 747. And these are all the documents the average homeowner signs at closing. Now, no one climbs into the cockpit of a 747 without knowing this inside and out. On the other hand, most people don't even read these, even though they're making the biggest purchase of their lives. In all fairness, it's not easy reading. That's why the Mortgage Bankers Association made this, the simple facts. Something you can read and actually understand long before closing. It is not a sales tool, and because it was created by the Mortgage Bankers Association, it doesn't promote any single bank or type of mortgage. It's just designed to help you get the mortgage that makes the most sense for you. Get your copy at homeloanlearningcenter.com. That's homeloanlearningcenter.com. The simple facts. The name says it all.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy, with affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, your graduate university.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. We're between games 2 and 3 of our match between intrastate rivals, IPFW and IUPUI. They're now also Summit League rivals, and the Mastodons up 2-0, winning game 1 31-29 and game 2 30-25. Mark Franke has taken a few moments to take a little break and get ready for game 3, and it gives us a chance to chat with the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs here at IPFW. And we're happy to welcome George McClellan to our telecast. And first and foremost, George, your thoughts on this match tonight?
Oh, it's been a great game so far. And we've had a terrific week at IPFW with the opening of the Reinhardt Music Center, and our theater production, Lark, opened this week, and of course another great week of classes. We wrap it up with a big win here tonight against a league opponent. It'll be a great Sunday evening.
Tell our viewers a little bit of just exactly what the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs is supposed to do.
Well, the standard joke is I do whatever the Chancellor tells me to do. But in reality, I work with a group of folks who help students to provide academic support to students, housing areas, the Dean of Students Office, our Diversity and Multicultural Affairs, career services, academic counseling. So services like that help support the success of our students at IPFW, that in essence is what we do. My mom says, people say, what does your son do for a living? She says, well, he plays with kids. And that's an okay definition too.
But it's a nice thing to do.
Oh, I always say I may not have the most important job in the world, but I have the best job. I get to come to school every day, be around really bright students, and help them achieve their dreams, and that's the best thing you can do.
Well, when we talk about working with students, and you're talking about you mentioned the new Reinhardt Center. Tell our viewers about that, because I know you said that opened up this week.
It's an amazing facility, amazing in its structural beauty, amazing in the spaces that it will provide in terms of classrooms and performance spaces, but also amazing in what it represents. The tremendous public support for IPFW, for the direction that IPFW is going in. This gift, this building really has the potential to be transformative at IPFW, not only for our institution, but for the Fort Wayne community and for the region. This is a fabulous performance center.
And it has multi-purposes as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've had, we opened our big lecture series this week, or 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, with Cheech Marin with a lecture on contemporary Latino art. It was a fascinating lecture. Then we've had our honors convocation there. We've had the opening ceremony, of course, and there are discussions underway with having the Philharmonic around and use that space. So there are just some amazing things going on, and that building will be right at the center of strengthening and enhancing both our campus offerings and arts in the region.
The university is literally growing by leaps and bounds in all types of areas. You talk about the Reinhardt Center. We talk about from the athletic standpoint where now the teams are in the Summit League.
Right.
And a chance to qualify for NCAA postseason play.
Yeah.
How can the rest of the public here in Fort Wayne and surrounding areas, if they want to get involved, how can they do so? Who do they talk to?
Well, we have a new athletic director, Tommy Bell, and Tommy is really committed to involving the community in the IPFW athletics. Of course, the easiest and simplest way is come on out and join us. Join us at a game, cheer for our athletes, cheer for the athletes around the league, and be a part of the excitement that is NCAA D1 athletic competition. We also, of course, always welcome donations to support athletic scholarships. We're always looking for sponsors for things like equipment and trips and travel. Running a D1 program is not inexpensive, and so we're always looking for friends and family and funds.
Well, we sure appreciate you spending a few moments of your time chatting with our viewers and letting them know what else is going on besides athletics here at IPFW. Again, continued success.
Well, thank you. I'm a proud and happy new member of the community, and on a night like tonight, go Dons.
George McClellan has been our guest, the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. We'll take a break and get ready for Game 3. You're watching IPFW Women's Volleyball on CA-TV.
You know, if she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour, unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales. You're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
What do triglycerides or trigs have to do to get noticed? Heart disease and stroke? Really? We should pay her more attention. Normal triglycerides are below 150. High triglycerides increase your risk of heart disease. And if you're a woman, that risk goes up even more. After standing in the shadows of good and bad cholesterol, triglyceride, also known as the forgotten fat, is ready to share the spotlight and the attention. Next time you have your cholesterol or blood fats tested, ask your doctor about the role triglycerides play in your heart health. Remember to ask your doctor about the good, the bad, and the forgotten fat. For more information on all of your blood fats, the good, the bad, and the forgotten, go to ForgottenFat.com. And remember, normal triglycerides are under 150.
This message brought to you by Sister to Sister, working together for healthy hearts.
Tell me what's bothering you.
As a hot dog, I know I'm responsible for some bad things. Now they say my cholesterol is a risk factor for stroke.
And how does that make you feel?
Like a big weenie.
High cholesterol is an important risk factor for strokes. Eating right and exercising can help. But National Stroke Association wants you to know that even the healthiest people are at risk. So ask your doctor about medicines that can lower cholesterol like statins. It's even more important if you've already had a stroke. Visit stroke.org today.
Back at the Gates Center, we're moments away from starting Game 3 of our match between IUPUI and IPFW. Mark Franke, we've got highlights to look at from Games 1 and 2, which are both won by the Mastodons. Battle there won by Sonara Martins.
That was just a setting problem. It wasn't Johnson's error.
Good swing there by the Jags. Rebecca Ream with a big swing. It hasn't been the cleanest of matches from a technical standpoint, but so far IPFW has gotten the job done.
There have been some highlights in terms of good play by certain players. We talked about the liberos. Certainly their play has been good.
Liberos on both teams. Chelsea Baston for IUPUI and Peachy Jankowski, number 3 there in your middle of your screen. And we're about ready to go in Game 3. Shannon Reuter replaced Jessica Dominiak in Game 2 as the setter, and she is still on the floor. And she will serve for IPFW, and here we go. IUPUI going from right to left on your TV screen here in Game 3. Jessica Miller a little bit strong on the swing, and IUPUI picks up the first point. Again, we played a 30 in games 1, 2, 3, and 4. You need to win by 2. If it goes to a 5th game, it's played to 15. Rachel Holmes into serve for IUPUI. Little float serve. Couple left-handed shots there by Ream and Bellamy. Miller from the right side. Baston with a dig. Holmes tries her luck. Short set for Ream. Houston tries the corner and doesn't get there.
That was open. If she'd have gotten over the net, it probably would have dropped.
Now in Game 2, IPFW hit 267 and IUPUI hit 182. Miller serving. Schlinvine with a dig. Good night for Bellamy on the right side. Reuter throws it up in the air. Free ball chance for the Jaguars. Houston. Peachy Jankowski tried to dig it, but a lot of English on it. 2-1. IUPUI with the lead and the serve. Baston to serve. Reuter for Mayara Schlinvine, and it's off the hand of Goodnight. Back and forth we go. Christine Simon and Kylie Hervey both in for IPFW, and Simon will serve. It was interesting Tuesday night, Mark. She went back home to Bowling Green, Ohio, and played against her big sister, who's a senior for the Falcons. Holmes swinging, and Reuter digging. Sonara Martins. Wow, Houston and Ream battling at the net. Rebecca Ream smiling, but she got that volleyball right in her mitt. 3-2 IUPUI.
Nice set. That
Good block
right
by Goodnight. Here is Hervey, and that is blocked by Johnson.
Reuter did a nice job with that. She had to go all the way into the net, try to push it out to the left. Under the circumstances, it was a good hittable set.
Davica Bellamy will continue to serve. It's the Jaguars up by 2 here in Game 3. Rebecca Ream from the right side and off the touch.
Good distribution of sets so far. I had a little conversation with Kelly and Steve between games 2 and 3.
A little strong by Rebecca Ream. Got that Gate Center jet stream.
I told them my opinion of some of the play selection early, and they properly chastised me. They said it was working well. It was the game plan. I just should watch more closely in the future.
Oh, mistimed. Sonara Martins, I think, thought the ball was going to end up one place and kept on flying.
Well, I wonder if she was coming in for that, what we call play one, coming inside about 5 feet, when in fact the set went to the pin on a hut set.
Houston to serve. Martins and Baston in the backcourt to dig it out. Ruder going to Ream. And IPFW wins the point.
Well, in spite of the fact that I was told by our coaching staff I don't know anything about the offense in a women's game, that's probably true because the game is different. I tend to filter it through the men's game prism, but I think IPFW is being much more aggressive in their attacking.
Well, that's what you said they had to do. Here is Newell. And Ream digs it out. From the back, Martins hits it into the net. 7-4 our score. IUPUI on top. And here is Ashley Johnson to serve. Goes for the ace, but it's about a foot long. That is the, I believe, 6th service error on IUPUI tonight. And here's Peachy Jankowski to serve.
You asked earlier, Mike, whether they're serving a player, a position, or just pull to serve. I watched their Coach Hutton called that serve. So she's calling a position. There's a passer in that position. So that passer is the target. Or sometimes it might be a seam, but that's a hard one to call. So usually you call a passer.
Yeah, I'll explain my question here as we go along. Newell from the left side, and it's blocked nicely by Miller and Ruder. The reason I brought that question up, last night against South Dakota State, we mentioned IPFW had 16 service aces, and it seemed that when South Dakota State brought one particular player in, the Dons went right at her. Didn't matter where she was on the floor, and it paid off. Baston with a good dig. We go back to Newell. Martins keeps it alive, and Ruder.
Oh, she got the net. She got the net. She caught it on the follow-through. Probably, and I wasn't really watching it that close last night. I was a civilian. I didn't have to pay that much attention. I could just be a fan. But probably that passer was struggling, and so as she came in, or they picked that up when they played up there in South Dakota, so they knew she would be a target. Like when we have our scouting report, we always tell the players, here are our targets in this order. If it changes, we'll tell you. And so if for some reason the coach doesn't call the set, the player still knows where to go.
A little bit of a break for Davica Bellamy. The ball hit the net and then the IPFW player. So it's a 9-8 IUPUI lead. And Rachel Holmes back on the floor to serve. From New Lenox, Illinois. Ruder going to the right for Miller. That's dug out by Goodnight. Houston off the touch.
Off the line.
And the line as well. And now it's a 2-point lead, 10-8 for the Jaguars from Indianapolis. Ruder for Ream. Too long. This is the first of 2 scheduled meetings between these schools this season. They'll wrap up the regular season on November the 11th down in Indianapolis. And we go to the left side for Mayara Schlinvine. Goodnight keeps it alive. Ream's going to play the setter. Let's see what happens here. Baston again digging it out. Bellamy. Long rally. Ball high up in the, nice block by Ream off of Bellamy. Houston gets it to the back court. And on we go. Left side for Houston. Oh, finally, IUPUI comes away with the point. What a long rally.
Kelly's upset with something. I heard Steve yell out. They're standing right in front of us right now. I'm not sure what it was. I think it was Rebecca Ream they were yelling to.
12-8, IUPUI.
Got
Did that hit the pole?
Yeah, it hit the pole.
So when the ball hits the pole, the other team gets the point. And all of a sudden, Jaguars up by 5, 13-8. Rachel Holmes serving for quite a while now. Here is Miller. And off the touch, the Dons finally stop that string. And it's almost appropriate that Jessica Miller, who got the kill, will now get the serve. And here we go. Bellamy right side and off the touch. You talk about aggressiveness, Mark, and boy, IUPUI has a lot of it here in game 3. Of course, they can freewheel it. They're down 2-0.
Well, yeah, and they know they have to be aggressive to take the lead and hold it.
Schlinvine. And there's Baston again in the backcourt. IUPFW asking for a touch, not going to get it.
That's probably
and
3.
We should have timeout. It's 15 points. Should be immediate timeout.
Yep.
And finally, there we go. So a break on the floor. IUPUI up 15-9. This is IPFW Women's Volleyball on CATV.
You know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Welcome back to the confusing Union Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. We're in game 3 of our best-of-5 match. IPFW leads the match 2-0, but IUPUI leads game 3 15-9. And Mark Franke, you want to talk about confusion?
Well, I have several theories about volleyball, which are probably wrong. But one of them is if a team wins the first 2 games, you go to that 10-minute timeout, or the halftime sort of thing, and the team that's lost the first 2 comes out and usually takes the lead. Doesn't mean they always win the 3rd set, but they usually jump out to a lead.
Now that time Hillary Houston gets a big swing and IPFW can't return it, and it's 16-9 Jaguars. All right, now they're on a 7-1 run. Chelsea Baston will continue to serve. Deep into the IPFW backcourt. Good dig there by Holmes. Here's Houston on the left side. Rebecca Ream puts it away.
I also have a corollary to that theory. Well, I don't know if I want to say it tonight. We'll see if this happens or not. But the most common pattern in a 4-set match is the winning team wins the first 2, loses the 3rd, wins the 4th.
Now here's Christine Simon to serve for IPFW. Davica Bellamy, nice block. Hervey and Martins combined. That puts a little bit of life into this crowd here at the Gate Center.
And the team. Martins did a nice job coming inside when that set dropped inside, so she could line up in front of the angle of the attack of the hitter.
Houston left side wide. And just like that, IPFW has won 3 points in a row. It's now 16-12. Good night setting up Bellamy. And
got a touch on that, I think, yeah.
Yep, and it is ruled a touch, so IUPUI will come away with the point.
I would hate to be a line judge. They have a difficult job because they stand as far away from the net as you can stand and still be in play, and they have to watch the touches at the net.
Danielle Goodnight with a dig. We go back to Houston on that left side. Boy, they like to go to her like they did with Newell earlier in the match. Houston with a dig. Here's Johnson. Oh, almost a pancake save by Jankowski, but it's ruled not to be. And the lead goes back up to 6, 18-12.
I think the left side blocker was supposed to come off for that position, but Sonara Martin stayed in on the net, thinking maybe that there was going to be a tip at the net she could get. I'm not sure why she stayed in, but I think the way the defense is set up is as the left side blocker is supposed to roll off there.
That timeout is called by IPFW. The latest Mastodon scores and stats are available on the World Wide Web. Just go to gomastodons.com. There you can check up on all the teams, the players, and the programs. You can check out them anytime you like. Again, it's the official Mastodon website, gomastodons.com. 18-12 is our score here in Game 3. And look at the numbers, Mark. IPFW in the negative category. If we look at a replay.
She adapted well to that.
That was that block by Martins. Minus 30 for IPFW in Game 3.
That means they have more errors than kills. It's kind of like a batting average. However, your errors count against your kills, and so you can go negative.
Well, players back on the floor. Again, IUPUI going from right to left. And it'll be one of the two seniors on the team, Davica Bellamy, to serve. Momentary delay while camera cables are moved. And now we're ready to go. Ruder had to go a long way. Jamie Schwartz just gets it over defensively. And IUPUI really playing with confidence right now. Up 19-12. Kind of a short serve that time. Rebecca Ream says enough is enough. And that's, I believe, her 10th kill of the night. Now she gets to serve. I mentioned last night she had 6 aces. The second time this season she has had 6 aces in a match. She had 27 coming into this match tonight. And she has 3 more through the first 2 games. Houston on the left. I think Shannon Ruder outdid her at the net.
It's a one-on-one block. And fortunately, she blocked it right down into the attacker. So Houston got hit by the block attempt on her own attack.
And they're going back to her. And she's wide left. Try to get that back deep corner. And now the lead is down to 4. Substitution for IUPUI. It's Lauren Thompson again coming in. With a jump serve. Oh, and that time, partial block, but the block hit the floor. So IUPUI comes away with the point.
That was, again, I think the offside blocker's ball. She got back, but she didn't come in. She's supposed to come in a little bit, I think.
Thompson serving. Almost looked like Ashley Johnson was over the net, but not quite.
She can come over the net as long as the ball breaks the plane, I think, if it's considered an attack.
Ruder for Martins, and that's blocked. There's Ream. Bellamy digs it out.
Uh-oh.
Defensive return for IUPUI. Here's Martins. Long.
She turned that ball back, hitting across her body. She went over the block. Surprised she didn't get a touch.
Kelly Hartley-Hutton says, let's take a timeout. You're down 7 points. Well, what do you say?
Well, you called it confusion earlier. there's certainly some execution problems. They're out of sync. And I don't know whether it's a 10-minute timeout period between 2 and 3. And I think that has a lot to do with it. But they also changed setters midway through game 2. And it looked to me like the players and the setter were just off a little bit, just enough out of sync that the timing was never quite right.
And there you get a look at Steve Payne, the 11th year head coach at IUPUI. Other activity taking place in Summit League Women's Volleyball tonight. Centenary is at Western Illinois, North Dakota State visiting Oakland, and Oral Roberts at UMKC, and UMKC stands for the University of Missouri at Kansas City. South Dakota State, who played here last night, on their way to Missouri State, where they'll play tomorrow in a non-league match. Back to the action here. Goodnight setting up Newell, and that's dug out by Rebecca Ream. Sonara Martins off the touch, gets the point. Patience pays off for IPFW there. 22-16 the score. Sonara Martins will serve for the Mastodons. Goodnight going cross court to Carol Newell. Martins digs it. Hervey. And Thompson digs that out for the Jaguars. Rebecca Ream tries her luck, and Bellamy comes up with a dig. Back to Newell. Hervey at the net. Back and forth we go. Change of pace shot. Successful for IUPUI.
I'm not sure there. Normally, I think the wing should come in and play that. Sonara Martin from middle back came in. And clearly there's unhappiness by Coach Hartley Hutton here. So I'm trying to figure out who she's glaring at right now.
Could be any or all of the 6 players on the floor wearing blue and white uniforms.
We got a sub going in, so I think I know who she's unhappy with.
Patty Acevedo coming in for Kylie Hervey.
No, that's not it.
Patty out of Belo Horizonte, Brazil, and Western Nebraska Community College. Reuter going for Acevedo. That's dug out by Thompson. Tough angle, and Newell couldn't get to it.
So that was interesting. She pulled a middle out, put a left side hitter in, and then immediately had to adjust the serve-receive pattern in the front row.
Well, it's a 6-point deficit for IPFW, and here's Peachy Jankowski to serve. Peachy getting closer and closer to the 2,000 dig mark for her career. Newell from the left side, and Peachy digs it out.
She's one closer now.
Yes, she is. Ream off the touch. 2
my,
points in a row.
My colleague, Ryan Perrott, who's the chief assistant on the men's volleyball team, he says that he would ideally want a 6'5" libero because of that play. They can jump up, have a long arm, and catch those.
Newell picks it right between Martins and Jankowski.
And it makes some sense. It's probably more true in the men's game where there are more deflections off the block, and you do have to jump and reach for balls as opposed to always staying low to play them like in the women's game they usually can do.
Mayara Schlinvine back on the floor, and Daniel Goodnight digs it out. Reuter for Miller. Oh, big swing by Jessica Miller. That ball just seemed to take off and dart to the floor. 24-19 to score. Shannon Reuter, who's been in the game for quite a while now as the setter for IPFW, serving. Bellamy and Martins digs it. Good block that time by IUPUI.
Oh, that was interesting.
Patty cake, patty cake. Reuter for Ream. Goodnight with a save. This time Ream's going to set up Schlinvine. Baston digs it out. Blocked by Miller, denying Bellamy a kill.
Nice block by Miller, but one thing I noticed here, I realize I've been noticing it all night, is I'm really impressed with the way Rebecca Ream handles second balls when she has to.
IUPUI calls a timeout. First of 2 allotted to them here in game 3. Now again, you see Steve Payne with his back to the camera. IUPUI, Mark, they're on a little bit of a string. They have qualified for postseason play, the conference tournament 8 years in a row. What used to be the Mid-Con and now in the Summit League. And for our viewers that may not know, now that IPFW is in the Summit League, the top 4 teams will come here to the Gates Center. And IPFW will be hosting the Summit League Women's Volleyball Tournament later in November, as you get a look at a replay. Big swing by Schlimpine there.
Watch this block. See how she went over? And her left hand, which is outside, turned in. So you don't block vertically, you don't block parallel to the net. You actually go on an angle to turn the ball back into the court. Excellent camera work there to demonstrate that point.
And the check's in the mail. And as we mentioned, IUPUI has made what was the Mid-Continent Conference postseason play 8 years in a row. Now it's the Summit League, and the top 4 finishers will come here to the Gates Center in late November for the first ever Summit League Women's Volleyball Championship. Here we go. Shannon Reuter serving again for IPFW. They're down 24-20. Peachy Jankowski with another dig. Miller, I should say, on the run. That's dug out. And good swing that time by Carol Newell. Vacant back right corner by IPFW, and nobody was there, and ball drops in.
I really like Newell. She swings hard. She went cross court, and then when she was dug there, she went down the line thinking she could go deep and knew it would be open if she hit it hard deep. Because our middle back wouldn't get there in time.
She has 11 kills tonight. Here's Jessica Miller. Whoa, big swing by Jessica off Baston's left arm. Jessica Miller now with 14 kills. That's the most by anybody on the floor. IPFW down 4 and a service error. That's not what you want to see at this time.
No, especially after 2 good plays, a good block, a good kill. Jessica Miller's a leader on the team from the standpoint she plays well, she scores points for us, and that picks the team up.
Chelsea Baston, the libero to serve. Reuter going to Ream in the middle of the net, and off the touch, off the hand of Johnson. The Mastodons get a big point. Simon and Hervey back in for Schlimpine and Acevedo. Christine Simon will serve. Holmes digs it out. We go right side for Bellamy. Simon saves it. Oh, nice block by Johnson, denying Sonara Martins a kill. Good timing, good guesswork by Ashley Johnson.
Yeah, and when the swing was off speed, she just stayed there and knew she could do a soft block on it.
Here's Martins just over the 3-meter line. Thompson gets a swing and hits it into the net. A break for IPFW. Now let's see if they can take advantage of it. Rebecca Ream to serve. Good night for Johnson. That's dug out. Big swing for Rebecca Ream.
Sonara Martins went on the floor in front of us.
Yeah, I know.
Got their feet tied up, tangled or something.
She has the towel on the floor once again.
Water on the floor for perspiration or any spilling water is dangerous to a player because it gives them treacherous footing. So anytime a player goes to the floor, they immediately wipe it up.
A lot of smiles. Sonara's face, Steve Florio, Kelly Hartley-Hutton, and Bill Thornburg all had smiles on their face, but we're back to the action. Johnson and Reuter tries to keep it alive, and the Dons do.
Well, we need a fast attack. Oh, it didn't develop. IUPUI needed to run a good fast attack there.
Cross corner shot is wide. Martins tried to find that little spot just over the net. 28-24 our score. IUPUI 2 points away from setting this into a 4th game. And Jessica Dominiak back on the floor for Shannon Reuter. Hillary Houston to serve for IUPUI. Martins, Baston with a dig. Goodnight tries to find the deep corner. Jamie Schwartz is there. Oh, nice dig by Houston. Newell from that left side. Back we go to Newell. Good block. Oh, almost a good block by Hervey, but the ball hit the net and came back, and IUPUI has a game point. Taryn Parker coming in for Kylie Hervey for IPFW. And one of the few times tonight we see IUPUI mopping up perspiration off the floor. Game point, Hillary Houston to serve for the Jaguars. Dominiak for Sonara Martins. Nice block. Johnson and Danielle Goodnight, and we're going to game 4. IUPUI wins game 3, 30-24. They narrow the gap. It's an IPFW 2-1 lead. We'll get ready for game 4. This is IPFW Women's Volleyball on CATV.
I've gone away to a college where the class size is small. I've gone away to a college with a beautiful campus.
I've gone away to a college that cares about diversity.
I've gone away to a college where I get to live in my own apartment instead of living in a dorm room.
I've gone away to a college that really isn't that far away at all.
I go to IPFW.
IPFW.
I go to IPFW.
To find out more about college life at IPFW, go to our website. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
The power's out, but your food safety plan is on. Don't open the fridge. Foods will be safe for up to 4 hours if the door stays closed. Keep the freezer shut too. If it's full, the food will stay frozen for about 2 days. When power returns, make sure freezer foods have ice crystals and check fridge foods with a food thermometer to make sure they're at 40 degrees or below. If not, or if there's any doubt, throw it out. Learn more at www.askkaren.gov or call the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Meat and Poultry Hotline at 1-888-MP Hotline.
What's it like when you hear your calling? Will you remember where you were? Will you ignore it? Or will you listen? What if it calls you to go halfway around the world? To share your skills? To serve people you've never met, to do things you never thought you could. What will you do when you hear your calling? Peace Corps, life is calling. How far will you go?
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on campus of IPFW. We're going to play some more women's volleyball tonight. IPFW won game 1 of our match between IPFW and IUPUI 31-29. Won game 2, 30-25. But the Jaguars came back and won game 3, 30-24. And Mark Franke, you were talking about a theory. We'll see if it comes true in game 4.
Yeah, if my theory holds true, IPFW should win this. Assuming it's going to be a 4-game match, that would match that theory that it's 2-1, 2-1-1.
Some of the numbers after 3 games, IPFW with more kills, 49-44, more assists, 49-43. Digs are even at 78, and the blocks favor the Jaguars 8-4.
That's a key statistic right there.
IPFW in the past traditionally known for being a blocking defensive type of team, and they're getting outblocked. Well, let's see what happens. Players are back on the floor. And IPFW will be going from right to left on your TV screen here in game 4. It looks like Peachy Jankowski. Well, I thought she was going to come in and serve, but I'm not sure. I think it's IUPUI is going to serve.
Right.
And that should be Danielle Goodnight.
Both teams start in rotation 1, which means the setter's right back and would be the first server if they have the serve.
Well, let's see. Equal distribution for IUPUI. Carol Newell with 12 kills, Ashley Johnson 11, and Hillary Houston with 10. And Jessica Miller 14, Rebecca Ream 13, and Sonara Martins 11 kills for IPFW.
The key on IPFW's offense is the 2 biggest hitters are Slindwine and Miller. in terms of kill percentage.
Nice dig by Houston off the Jessica Miller swing. Here's Taryn Parker. That's partially blocked. Defensive return. Let's see what the Dons can do with it. Parker going to set up Dominiak. Goodnight digs it out. Swing by Jessica Phelps. And ball goes into the net. 1-0 IPFW.
What I was saying about the hitting percentage, both Miller and Schlindwein are hitting to good percentage. They have fewer attempts than Ream or Martins. Miller, though, leads the team with kills, but has very few errors, only 3 for Miller out of 30 attempts.
Goodnight setting up Carol Newell. Newell comes down with the kill. We're tied at 1. Rachel Holmes back in to serve. Again, this is game 4 of our best of 5 match. Myra Schlindwein gets it over. Good night for Bellamy on the right side and off the touch. The Jaguars take a 2-1 lead. Rachel Holmes is a 5'8" sophomore from New Lenox, Illinois. Floats it over. Dominiak for Jessica Miller, yes. Last night against South Dakota State, Jessica Miller had 17 kills, 4 digs, a couple of blocks. We're tied at 2, but only for a moment. Service error, number 7 on IPFW. Chelsea Batson libero to serve. Dominiak throws it up for Schlindwein. Batson with a dig. Oh, mistiming of the jump by Ashley Johnson, a break for IPFW.
Ashley Johnson approached as if it was a good pass, and the pass was too close to the net. Goodnight had to just kind of save it, and so the ball and the hitter arrived at different times.
Davica Bellamy off the right forearm of Jessica Dominiak, and IUPUI retakes the lead 4-3, and I think Bellamy's going to serve. Bellamy again had a triple-double last night at Oakland, 17 kills, 25 assists, and 10 digs. Little running serve. Schlindwein from the right side, and that's dug out by Holmes. Dominiak for Ream, rather.
That was nice. That started with a good pass out of Martins. And then because it was a good pass on transition, the middle was available. Ream ran a front slide for a quick attack on a 1-ball and down.
Christine Simon into serve. We're tied at 4, game 4. Bellamy going to set up Houston on the left side. Jamie Schwartz is there for the dig.
That was miscommunicated, I think.
Johnson off the touch. 5-4 IUPUI. Newell back in for Holmes. Houston serving. Jankowski saves it. Free ball chance coming up for IUPUI. They can take advantage of it. And they do. Newell.
Bellamy got in the way of Baston and got backed out at the last minute, so Baston could handle that ball like she should have because it was a free ball.
Jaguars up by 2. Dominiak setting up Ream. The block by Newell, a little bit strong and wide right. Rebecca Ream to serve. Newell again off of Jankowski. They're going back to Carol Newell in game 4 like you did in game 1.
Just swings and swings and swings.
In fact, right now, she's had 42 swings tonight. Good block that time by Phelps. Sonara Martins, long. IUPUI hanging in there. They're up 8-5 in game 4. They want to send it to a game 5. Dominiak going to go back to Martins. Oh, nice block. Goodnight and Phelps. Timeout called by Kelly Hartley Hutton of IPFW. Well, let's let you know what's coming ahead for the women. They go back on the road after this match tonight. We have a couple of matches next week. They'll be at UMKC on Friday night, and then Western Illinois Saturday night, October 13th. And we mentioned that both of those teams won last night. UMKC defeated Centenary, and Western Illinois knocked off Oral Roberts in 5, 15-13 game 5. So again, IPFW at UMKC next Friday night, and then next Saturday night they're at Western Illinois. And after that, they come back home to take on UMKC 2 weeks from tonight here at the Gates Center.
We'll see what changes here. IPFW is somewhat out of system, but a lot of hitting errors, a lot of blocks.
Ashley Johnson continues to serve. Dominiak going back to Martin. Sonara slams it where Hillary Houston couldn't get to it. Mark, you talk about how important it is for a team that calls a timeout to come back and win the point coming out of the timeout.
Oh, it's really important. If you call the timeout, it's because things are going poorly. The other team has momentum. You have to break that momentum.
Carol Newell.
I don't think that went.
No, I think it hit the net and bounced back.
I got no signal on that, but it didn't matter.
2 points in a row for IPFW off the timeout. It's now 9-7. Sonara Martins will continue to serve. 9-7. Floats it over the net. Newell again, the left side. I'm convinced that Steve Payne's going to use that play over and over until IPFW stops it.
Well, Sonara Martins is middle back, and she's shifting to her left, and it must be because the way the block's setting up. If she's thinking that she needs to dig inside the block, you normally don't want to dig behind the block. You assume your blockers can do their job, but she's been burned now a couple of times on that. So we'll see if she adapts to it.
Danielle Goodnight serving. Miller off the touch. It almost looked, Mark, that time by Jessica Miller mistimed the jump a little bit.
I'm not sure what play that was.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know what the set was meant to be.
It results in an IPFW point, and here's Peachy Jankowski to serve. Houston digs it out. Goodnight going to try to get Bellamy. A double hit called on Danielle Goodnight, the setter.
One way the up official, when the setter's back is to her, which frequently it is, can know that it's been mishandled to see the spin of the ball as it comes out.
Peachy Jankowski had 5 aces last night. Bellamy tries to find the cross-corner shot, but she's long and wide, as they say. We're tied at 10.
That spot was open, Mike. She just missed it.
10-10. Peachy Jankowski continues to serve for IPFW. Almost a knuckleball type of serve. Bellamy and Martins digs it out. Here's Rebecca Ream with a big swing. That's dug out. Bellamy back open corner. Oh my, they're going to say it's long. I thought it was in.
That ball was in. I think the ball was in.
That ball looked like it was in by at least a foot.
IPFW's back row looked like it was in.
Oh my. Fortuitous break that time for IPFW.
That was
Good left-handed shot. What an athletic move that time by Devika Bellamy. That ball's just inside the line. That is a good shot.
Actually, that Bellamy's was the second athletic play there. Goodnight's was even better, I thought.
Okay, scoreboard says 11-11. I thought IPFW was up 12-10, but I could be wrong.
It's that last one, 11-10 that we were.
That's what I thought. Guess they replayed the point, and I didn't know it. Oh, wow. Baston says he's got a Christmas present. Dig floats over, and IPFW couldn't return it.
Now it says 12-11 IUPUI. You want to file a complaint with the official score?
Yeah. You won't get mad, will you?
I won't get mad. She might.
Good dig. Good night. Double hit called on IUPUI. And of course, we chuckle because the official score is Mark's wife, Tommy.
And it is interesting when I argue with her during the men's season.
Jessica Dominiak serving for the Dons. Hillary Houston. Martins digs it out. Schlinvine. Baston, what a dig there. What a block by Schlinvine.
Oh, is that 2 hits?
Phelps hits it into the net. Steve Payne just taps his head saying, come on, gals.
See, I wonder if Phelps had 2 hits. I thought it hit her shoulder and then she hit it. Maybe not.
Dominiak serves. IPFW up 13-12. Dominiak gonna go to Ream. And Rebecca Ream hits the kill, and IUPUI wants a timeout. But it's not getting called. Steve, well, I thought he was signaling for a timeout, but play continues. Schlinvine digs it out. Good night for Houston. Dominiak tries to save it, but it doesn't happen. It's now 14-13. PFW with the lead.
What was the lead at the timeout, Mike? Was it 4 points?
9-5.
So as we talked about changing the momentum, it did exactly that.
Yes. It was 9-5 IUPUI, and it's now 14-13 IPFW, and there's a service there. 15-13 now the score. And it'll be Jessica Miller to serve. Good night setting up Bellamy. Jankowski with a big dig. Martin's a little shot, and that's dug out. Ashley Johnson off of Peachy Jankowski. IUPUI is not giving up by any means. They're down by just 1, 15-14. Danica Bellamy with a running jump serve. Martins, that's dug out. Schwartz tries to keep it alive. Can they get to it? Can they get to it? Schlinvine.
Oh no, I thought that was gonna hit the speakers.
Johnson hits the net, and IPFW comes away with an improbable point. And credit Hustle getting back to get to that loose ball before it hits the ground.
I wonder if IUPUI's players are trying just a little too hard right now. This is a key time for them, probably more so than for IPFW.
Houston on the left side, and that's blocked by Taryn Parker. Ream? Yes, outdueling Houston at the net.
Steve Payne was calling his blockers to get out to the left because the setter was not going to handle the second ball for IPFW, so he knew where it was going to come. It was going to come to our right side.
17-14 Mastodon lead. Johnson blocked by Martins. Dominiak for Ream.
Net call. Nothing's going right for IUPUI right now. And IPFW has a lot of confidence. They just ran a double quick, which meant there was a setter immediately in front and a hitter immediately in front, immediately behind the setter with 2 options to hit.
IUPUI tried to get a sub in, and boy, they were confused, but they got lucky. Player actually came onto the floor and hustled back off while the ball was in the air.
Well, the coach is supposed to call to the down official that he's sending a sub in, but because of the subbing in this game they're so frequent, and there's a pattern to it, the players usually go by themselves.
Hillary Houston to serve. Dominiak for Ream at the front of the net. Bellamy tries to keep it alive. A reload for Ream, and a little dink shot.
Another double quick there.
Dominiak for Parker, and that's dug out by Bellamy. Newell off the touch. I think IUPUI gets the point.
Yeah, it's a block. It came off the block. That's what happens when you have Rebecca Ream in the opposite. You have the opportunity to run a lot of double quicks. If you have an opposite that can really hit out of the middle, you have some options.
Timeout called by IPFW. We'll take a break as well. You're watching IPFW Women's Volleyball on CATV.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils? We only ask that you do your best.
And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Crowd here tonight at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. We're in game 4 of our best-of-5 match. IPFW leads the match 2-1, and they lead game 4 18-16, but they have just called a timeout. And when play resumes, Hillary Houston will serve for IUPUI. Jaguars going from left to right on your TV screen. And here we go. Dominiak setting up Rebecca Ream, and she's long. And here come the Jags once again. And they were down 18-14. They've run off 3 points in a row.
There comes an outside hitter for a middle hitter. This will change things.
Patty Acevedo on the floor for Taryn Parker for IPFW.
I think Ream will have to run middle now rather than right side. We'll see if that's what happens.
Dominiak, left side Martins, off the touch. 19-17. The lead back up to 2. Rebecca Ream. Well, Parker back in for Acevedo. That didn't last very long.
Well, no, and Acevedo wasn't sure what position she was in.
Little jump serve by Rebecca Ream. Newell left side.
Oh, nice recovery on that.
Carol Newell now with 18 kills tonight. Ties her with Rebecca Ream for game high. Ashley Johnson serving. Jaguars once again trying to tie this game up. Jamie Schwartz will set up Dominiak to set up Parker, and a block by Newell. And we are tied at 19.
That was the play that I think we run too much, and the coaches say it's very effective.
I'll let you get into that argument.
I'm not going to get into it anymore.
Defensive return for IPFW. Oh, Newell gets it over. Let's see what IPFW does. Martins, timing is off. Newell again. Jankowski digs it out. Martins, Newell with a dig. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. That
double hit called on Ashley Johnson.
You could just see the ball spin as it came out of her hands because she did it flat-handed. I think what they were hoping for is just a conservative set to the release point, which is the left side of the net for them.
More perspiration being wiped up by Peachy Jankowski. 20-19 our score. IPFW with the lead and the serve. Here's Sonara Martins. Floats it over. We go back to Carol Newell. Successful once again. We're tied at 20. Danielle Goodnight to serve. Jessica Miller with a big jump and a big swing.
Mike, I think Jessica Miller needs to be more involved in the offense because she's hitting 41%. That's really, really good.
17 kills and 34 swings with 3 errors.
34 attempts, 41%. And she only plays front row.
Peachy Jankowski to serve. Goodnight setting up Newell, middle of the net. And Miller and Dominiak couldn't block it cleanly. We're tied once again at 21. Rachel Holmes in to serve. Dominiak's going to go left side for Mayara Schlinvine. Holmes digs it out. Good night for Houston. Houston finds the back left corner. Martins couldn't get to it. And don't look now, IUPUI on top, 22-21. As they try to force a fifth and decisive game here tonight.
That is an open spot on the IPFW defense.
Holmes saves it over. Miller on the run.
You're there at work.
We're tied at 22.
But that play developed very quickly, and it was at a fast tempo, which allowed her to hit that angle.
She came a-running, that's for sure. And IPFW comes right back. A good serve into the deep back right corner.
Yeah. And Holmes didn't move her feet fast enough, so all she could do was put her fist up and try to bat the ball back into the center of the court.
Dominiak serving for the Dons. Houston. Martins comes out and digs it. Schlinvine, yes. There, Schlinvine with the kill. She has 10. And IUPUI calls a timeout. 24-22 IPFW. This is IPFW Women's Volleyball on CATV. Well, we're back, folks, here at the Gates Center. 24-22 our score. IPFW on top. IUPUI has just called their second.
That's first time out.
That's the first time out. It is the first time out for IUPUI in this game. IPFW's used up both of theirs.
Yeah, Steve Payne was hoping to get the media timeout at 15, but he couldn't have it since Kelly had called a timeout prior to that.
Jessica Dominiak will serve. Critical serve here, critical point. Bellamy goes wide left.
Nice play, just they didn't execute it.
And now the lead is 3, 25-22. IPFW trying to close this match out in 4. And lots of bodies flying on the floor, but the Jaguars can't get to the ball.
Once again, Mike, just like last night, IPFW at the end of the match gets very aggressive with its serve. And we've got a number of players who can serve very aggressively. This is one of them, Jessica Dominiak.
Carol Newell back on the floor for IUPUI. Dominiak goes deep. Baston digs it out. We go left side to Houston. Jankowski with another dig. Ream! Quick move, and IPFW with the point.
When I said IUPUI was sometimes trying to do too much, the libero was in a position to play that, but Goodnight went out, she's worried now, so she's trying to overplay. That's difficult to get players out of that when they see a match slipping away from them.
Thompson in for IUPUI. Goodnight going to set up Bellamy on the left side, and that's dug out by Miller. Martins tries to keep it alive. No, it'll be 4 hits. Jankowski tried to save it as well.
The angle was just too radical to bring that one over the net.
27-23 our score. Holmes back in for Newell. And Chelsea Baston will serve. She has played a fine match tonight from the libero position. Dominiak throws it up for Schlinvine, and it's blocked by Johnson. 2 points in a row for IUPUI. They're down by just 3, 27-24.
Jessica Miller's on the back side here. Let's see where this set goes.
Dominiak is going to go right for Miller. And IPFW can't convert.
Set was tight.
And now the lead down to 2.
Actually, this is as good an offense as IPFW is going to have. Miller, Schlinvine, and Ream.
Mm-hmm. Well, you look at it, Ream's got 19 kills, Schlinnvein's got 10. Miller's got 18.
You've got 58, 33, and 36 attempts out of these three hitters.
Dominiak going to go for Ream.
Nice 31 set. 31 is about 8-10 feet in front of the setter. Very flat and fast. First tempo.
Jessica Miller to serve. Thompson hits it over. That's dug out. Dominiak going to go to Schlinnvein. Baston digs it. Bellamy tries her luck, and Schlinnvein throws it up in the air, and Miller can't get to it. Big point for the Jaguars. Instead of being a match point, they're down 28-26.
Yeah, IPFW's middle back was not deep enough to play that deflection.
Davica Bellamy to serve. Dominiak going right for Schlinnvein, and we're at match point. Myra Schlinnvein, a nice set from Jessica Dominiak.
See, I'm beginning to think that Schlinnvein's natural position is the backside, the right side, because of she's a lot more comfortable there. She doesn't jump real high, but she has a fast arm swing, so she's a quicker attacker, second tempo attacker.
Christine Simon serving for the match. Goodnight setting up Johnson.
Blocked off the antenna.
IUPUI stays alive. Another match point.
IPFW has 2 attempts here to side out and win.
Thompson to serve. Dominiak gonna go for Ream. Baston digs it out. Bellamy sets up Thompson. Schwartz with a dig. Ream again. Goodnight keeps it alive. A little dink shot going to the corner. Baston saves it. Goodnight gonna go to Newell. Ball up in the air. Martins keeps it alive.
Attack it. There's nobody back there.
Goodnight setting up Newell once again. Schwartz with a dig. And the ball is kept alive, and only for a moment. The Dons pull it off. Baston gave it her all, but a teammate could not catch up, and IPFW wins game 4, 30-27, and they win this match 3-1. As the players congratulate each other, and the coaches as well, at midcourt. Well, it's been a successful weekend for IPFW women's volleyball. They win this match tonight, 3-1. And what we'll do now is we'll take one break, and when we come back, we'll have some final numbers and some final thoughts. So let's take this brief time out. IPFW wins game 4. Wins the match 3-1, and we'll be back on CATV.
Must eat. Wait, what is this? Capsicum annum, agaricus bisporus, allium cepa.
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man. Honey.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
You might be surprised to know the biggest dangers your pet faces are everyday dangers, like drinking from puddles, being boarded, squirrels in the park, and fleas and ticks. Being a pet is risky business. That's why it's important for every pet to receive a risk assessment and wellness exam twice a year. A risk assessment from your veterinary professionals helps create a unique risk profile for your dog or cat. Your veterinarian can then develop a disease protection plan that's right for your pet and the disease threats in your area. Best of all, twice-a-year exams help your veterinarian detect, treat, or prevent health problems before they become serious. So reduce the risks. Contact your veterinarian today for your pet's wellness exam, because being a pet is risky business. A message from the American Veterinary Medical Association and your local veterinarians.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field, And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, your graduate university.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. The Mastodons victorious over their intrastate and Summit League rival tonight. The Jaguars from IUPUI, they win the match 3-1, winning by scores of 31-29, 30-25, 24-30, and 30-27. And here to chat with us about this match is associate head coach, and I got it right, Steve Florio. And Steve, the Jaguars came in with a record of under 500 for the season, but they gave you all you could handle tonight. They didn't quit.
Well, their record doesn't speak for what type of team they are. The losses they've had are really tough, and right now they're 2-6, but it's a real good 2-6 team. I know that sounds silly to say, but they've lost in 5 a few times. They've lost to teams that are very, very good. So it's a deceiving record, so we weren't taking them lightly by any means. Anyway, when we play IUPUI, throw the records out the window because it's the whole rivalry of the two Purdue University schools there. So
you're up 2-0. What did you and Kelly say to the team at the break between games 2 and 3?
I'm really glad you asked.
Okay, here it comes.
Well, we went in to the timeout, and we talked about still trying to raise our intensity level, and we talked about set choices, and we told our attackers to not set behind the setter anymore and attack their outside blockers, and we wanted to go more towards 31s and high outside balls, and so that was sort of the tactical change we made. Another tactical change we made in that game 2 was we moved what we call our base. We moved it about 2-3 feet back, and that didn't work either. So in game 4 we went back to what we were doing in games 1 and 2, and I guess you shouldn't make adjustments when you're up 2-0.
I know one of the things that Mark and I talked about before the match last night, an emotional win. You defeated the conference leaders, South Dakota State, and you had to do it by winning games 4 and 5. And yes, there was a lot of energy spent in that comeback. Coming back on such short notice after an emotional win, was there any concern at all about a letdown either physically or mentally?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked to the girls about that before the match. We said, we are coming off a big win, so let's not relax. Let's keep our eyes on the prize. And IUPUI was coming off a loss last night, so we didn't want to sort of reverse it. They're going to be fighting hard, and we're going to relax and crisscross there somehow. And it almost happened because IUPUI played very hard, and they kept us sort of out of sync the whole night, and we couldn't get any sort of rhythm going. And I thought we fought just hard enough, which come November is not going to be good enough.
Let's talk about defense. I don't want to talk about offense. I admitted to everybody in game 3 that I was appropriately chastised by you and Kelly.
Yeah, but we went and made that change. We went and made that change.
It's all my fault, right? It's the way on the men's team. That's the way it works. We lose a game, Arnie looks at me and says, "That's your fault." It never fails. Defensively, it seems to me that the way your team is set up to play defense, you open some holes, and sometimes I'm not sure how you adjust to remove those holes. The offside blockers, that hole seemed to be more open tonight than normally. The other one was the deep corner, especially on a throw. And I noticed and commented on Sonara when she was playing middle back, she tended to move to her left, slide to her left, and was getting burned to her right several times there in the fourth set.
Right. They started doing that particular shot more consistently in the fourth set. So towards the end of the match, we had Sonara cheat to that area, and she did make a few digs in like the last 5 or 10 points in that zone. But the strategy we had was to drive their hitters cross court. So we were making our block take line. We were gonna be okay with leaving a hole in the block because we wanted to funnel them towards our cross-court diggers. So that's why we had Sonara stepping. And
Peachy did a great job.
Yeah, exactly. We got a great libero on the cross-court, so we're okay. We'd rather give up a cross-court kill than a line kill. And we're gonna dig that cross-court more than we're gonna dig that line shot. So we just play the odds on that, and it usually works for us, and I think it worked for us tonight. And then they started seeing that we were leaving that deep zone 1 open, and they went for it, and we made the adjustment.
Steve, the team defended the home court last night and tonight, so you're still undefeated at home. You improved to 11-8 overall. You improved to 5-3 in the conference. But now you got to go back on the road. I know I spoke with Kelly last night. I spoke with Andrew Palileo, the South Dakota State head coach, and both of them said the Summit League seems to be a home court league, and whoever can win on the road may come away with a spot in the Final Four coming back here in November. Now you got 2 matches next week against UMKC Friday night and Western Illinois Saturday night. Western Illinois knocked off ORU last night in 5.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, everyone's playing really tough at home. It's long road trips, long bus trips. It takes a lot out of you, sleeping in a hotel bed, getting up, driving 3 hours to the next match, eating food you're not used to eating. You're just totally out of sync, out of rhythm. And the road trips are long. They're not like quick little 2-hour trips where you can go there, play, and come home. I mean, these are long, long road trips.
But you wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, would you?
Well, we're not. I'm saying this as a fact and not so much as a compliment, as a complaint, I mean, because we're really happy to be in the conference, you know. So, I mean, we'll take the trade-off. But, yeah, you got to win on the road in this conference. Everyone's having a great job at home, so we got to take one on the road.
Again, congratulations on the win last night and the win tonight. Good luck on the road next week, and we'll see you down the road shortly.
Thanks.
We've been chatting with Associate Head Coach Steve Florio. Again, IPFW wins the match 3-1. We'll take one final break, come back with some highlights and some final numbers. No. Okay, we're going to go to replays right now. Mark, let's take a look at the screen and see some of the highlights from tonight's match.
This is the point where Steve Payne was telling his blockers to get out to the left because he knew exactly where that was going. When our middle, or actually she's the left side. I'm not sure what these players are in your alignment.
I didn't care if they knew where she was
that's
going.
Right.
She's 5'7".
Big swing there by Mayara Schlinvine. Another swing.
I think Mayara is just better on the right side than the left. I think it's a more natural position for her.
Yeah, I agree.
There's Rebecca Ream coming up with one of her kills tonight.
See how that? I think she approaches it better, has more confidence in her arm swing, can beat the block out there with quickness.
And here are some of the final numbers. Kills favors IPFW 64-60, assists 64-59. Digs, IUPUI had 2 more, 103-101. They also had more blocks, 12-5. Jaguars out-hit the Mastodons tonight, 179-153. Real briefly, individually, Rebecca Ream with 20 kills, Jessica Miller 18, Sonara Martins 14, and Mayara Schlinvine 11 for IPFW. Carol Newell with 20, Ashley Johnson 14, and Hillary Houston with 12 for IUPUI. Final thoughts, Mark, on this match tonight and what's coming up ahead?
Well, it wasn't always played real well, but as Steve said, that this is a rivalry, not only because of in-state, but also in conference now. And as you said, playing on the road is important. Let's see what the team does next week and see if they build on the wins this weekend. A big one last night, a big one tonight because of the rivalry and because of last night's emotion. So let's see what happens.
That'll do it for this telecast of IPFW Women's Volleyball. We'd like to thank at this time the CATV production crew, the IPFW athletic staff, the City of Fort Wayne, Comcast Cablevision, and especially the Office of IPFW University Relations and Communications for their contributions to this College Access Television Sports telecast. Our next telecast will be on Saturday, November 3rd, when the Golden Eagles of Oral Roberts University come to town. First service scheduled for 7 p.m. This telecast of IPFW Sports is copyrighted and is the sole property of the College Access Television and IPFW. Unauthorized duplication, exhibition, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this event without express written consent is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed this telecast of IPFW Sports, and we thank you again for joining us this evening. For Mark Franke, this is Mike Maas saying so long for now. Again, IPFW defeats IUPUI tonight, 31-29, 30-25, 24-30, and 30-27. The Dons go to 11-8, 5-3 in the Summit League. IUPUI drops to 9-12, 2-6 in conference play. We'll see you when Oral Roberts comes to town. Other than that, have yourselves a great night as we bid you good night from the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW.